Today, we'll be grabbing the 100% Platinum Trophy for one of the greatest first-person shooters ever made. Battlefield 4 was released in 2013 and has definitely stood the test of time as it continues to have players 12 years later. There's 68 trophies up for grabs, which sounds like a small amount, but the requirements are no easy feat, but it does include everybody's favourite multiplayer trophies.
No! God! No! God, please, no! No!
To set the scene, it was announced that the Battlefield 4 servers for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were being shut down by the end of the year. This means if you had a PS3 or a 360, the Platinum Trophy would then become unobtainable. Even though I had the PS4 version of the game, this could be a sign of things to come. After all, it is EA that we're talking about here. With that, I decided to pick up the multiplayer trophies first, which would allow me to complete the single player trophies later on. Step 1 to the multiplayer trophies was to earn the 5 base game trophies before moving on to the 25 DLC trophies. These involved performing 5 knife kills, 45 kills with the M1911 pistol, winning a round of each game mode, reaching rank 25 and delivering 5 bombs in the obliteration game mode. There was a problem though, nobody played obliteration, and the times that I actually managed to find a game, it was filled with players trying to do the same thing as me, so it was pretty much impossible. I pushed on, picking up turnaround for the knife kills, .45 old school for the pistol kills, and call me sir for reaching rank 25. It was only when checking PSN profiles that I managed to find Sassy Atrocity, Ruby Tomato Seed and Sykes Out kills. These guys had rented a private server and they were also hunting trophies. Thankfully, for a match to begin, you require 4 players, so they kindly let me tag along. We spent the whole weekend together grinding out these trophies. Battlefield 4 has 5 sets of DLC: China Rising, Second Assault, Naval Strike, Dragon's Teeth and Final Stand. The most time-consuming trophies by far were the assignments. For China Rising, Dragon's Teeth and Final Stand, you have to play a total of 10 hours on maps included within each of the DLC. As you've just seen, we burned through most of the trophies pretty quickly, which left us with only 30 hours worth of trophies remaining. Unfortunately, that was more time than we had remaining on the server. It was then a matter of jumping between lobbies for each DLC and going AFK for as long as possible before being kicked. But eventually, King of the North, Street Fighter and a new superpower were unlocked, and that was stage 1 of this Platinum complete. Then it was on to stage 2. We begin upside down, submerged in the Caspian Sea with our squad mates Irish, Pack and Sergeant Dunn. We cut to 30 minutes earlier to an abandoned building deep in Azerbaijan. For this stage, we must complete each of the 7 missions on the hardest difficulty and grab the 35 collectibles that can be found. In a side room, we were able to grab the first dog tab before we meet up with our squad mates Pack and Dunn and find Irish being chased down by dogs. After fighting off the incoming forces, somehow Irish scales the building and reaches the second floor window.
Jump in. You okay, Irish?
After picking up our second collectible, the M39 EMR, we find our second dog tag, which pops the Stumbled Over It trophy. Now we need to find the exfil site so that we can escape Baku with the intel that sheds light on the political relations between Russia and China following the outbreak of war. In each of the 7 missions, you must get a certain amount of points before finishing, as well as completing an objective. For the Baku mission, you get a trophy for completion, as well as one for amassing 7,000 points, and one final trophy for getting 10 C4 kills. We grabbed Dunn's Pride for achieving the points total, but unfortunately I did get caught up with annihilating the Russian forces and completely forgot to throw a C4 at anybody. This just meant that I would have to revisit the mission afterwards. We press on to the exfil site, which is at the top of a beaten down factory, but we have to ride a rusty ass elevator to get up. We are then jumped by a Russian helicopter. The death machine destroys the building beneath us, but we manage to catch Sergeant Dunn, but his name is definitely foreshadowing for what's to come as he's pinned under a slab of concrete. To avoid being captured and gulagged by the Russians, we must cut off his leg and GTR car to escape. We were able to grab It Was On The Way for finding 6 collectibles before stealing the vehicle, and we once again run into Mr. Helicopter, but thanks to Irish's aura,
Burn those motherfuckers!
we have to now. We take it down with a grenade launcher, which closes out the mission, and we grab the Fishing in Baku trophy. Through a mission briefing, we learned that the US is being framed for the assassination of Xin Jie, the future leader of China. Following this, the remaining members of Tombstone are off to Shanghai to rescue some VIPs from a hotel as the war wages on. We took a casual look around for finding 9 collectibles and done some searching for finding 12, as well as a one-man riot for obtaining 11,000 points in the mission. The special assignment for the Shanghai mission was to get 10 multi-kills throughout the mission, but once again, I was too caught up in murdering the Chinese to remember, so another thing to add to the to-do list. The final trophy in this section was Wolves in Sheep's Clothing, which we grabbed for completing the mission before returning back to base. Back on the USS Valkyrie, one of the VIPs we saved from Shanghai was actually undercover CIA agent Kovic. He takes over Tombstone and we go to investigate the wreckage of another ship. While searching for the ship's black box, we experience some casual racism towards Irish.
Going down into that, you could swim, right, Marine? Right? He dive all the way to mid-deck where we should arrive above sea level.
Now up to this point, even in the multiplayer, I had not experienced any bugs or glitches until we got to this water section and I had to swim. Now I don't know what was going on here, but at first I'd thought that I just got stuck on some debris, but then I realised I was just hitting an invisible wall. What's going on? Why can't I swim? What is this shit? What the fuck? It took me the best part of 20 minutes to swim through this section, but I eventually worked out that you just had to swim backwards and that worked best. Backstroke it is. What the fuck was that all about? After nearly drowning, we picked up a few more collectibles and unlocked the No Stone Left Unturned trophy. Not long afterwards, we got the 11,000 required points and unlocked the Terror of the Deep trophy. I'm going to claim that this time I remembered to complete the assignment for this level, which was to get 30 headshots, but when you're using a DMR, it was just too easy. So after getting the 30th, we unlocked Bloodwake. But in typical Rendelle fashion, I was having so much fun and satisfaction destroying the enemy helicopters with a no lock-on RPG, I realised that after it was too late, I'd forgotten to pick up the final collectible in the mission.
No! Not like this! No! It's blocked! The way is blocked! No! There's a collectible over there!
So all in all, the 3 missions that we've seen so far, I'm going to have to replay all 3 of them again. We eventually get to safety and unlock the Fall of the Titan trophy for completing the South China Sea mission. During the Shanghai mission, we picked up a Chinese woman and her husband. The woman was actually called Hannah. She's an undercover operative working for the US. Our captain told us that she's coming on our next mission, which Irish seems less than happy about.
In my opinion, bad fucking idea, Wrecker. She's a risk and a liability.
We must now storm the beaches of Singapore to shut down the Chinese air superiority at one of the airports. During this mission, we must get a total of 20,000 points, which is the highest yet, as well as getting 15 kills with the RPG. We start off on a beach, taking out the defending Chinese until we made it far enough up the beach to find another collectible. After a bit of parkour, we find our 18th collectible and unlock the Every Nook and Cranny trophy. With that out of the way, we're able to jump into a tank. Now, 1v1, this tank is pretty unstoppable. The problems only begin when it is 2v1. I just kept dying in this section. I was fine taking out the first 3 tanks that spawn in. The issue was having enough health remaining to take out the 4th. Eventually, we push up and Irish gets accused of being sexist by Hannah.
What is your problem? You don't like having a woman in your squad?
But even with the beef, we make it to the sewers leading to the airport. It is here we're able to grab our next trophy. Throughout the mission, I had been pot-shotting people with the RPG, but in this section, you are blessed with an ammo box very close by and the high ground.
I have the high ground!
I started raining down hell on the Chinese and eventually unlocked the War Turtle trophy. Towards the end of the level, I realised I'm only 675 points off of the 20,000 point requirement for the trophy, which is about 5 headshot kills. I wasn't too sure how long was left in the mission, but as we exit the hangar, we jump into a car with a mounted MG on the back. As we struggle to start the car, a Chinese truck pulls up and I open fire on it instantly as 4 guys jump out of the back. But I run out of ammunition. Hannah drives off along with my chances of grabbing the trophy. Hannah then crashes the car, because of course she does.
What do you mean by that?
And we're all captured, seeing that we have then been double-crossed. After that ordeal, we are rewarded with braving the storm for completing the mission. But yet again, because we did not get the points tally, we will have to return to the Singapore mission again.
Welcome to the Gulag.
We awake opposite Irish, both being tortured in the Gulag. This is when we're then introduced to Dmitri, the Russian Michael Schofield. He has been waiting for us to wake up so that he can use our military skills to break out. After coming to an opening in the pipes, we both jump down as he takes out a guard and steals his weapon. This is where we're then able to grab our next trophy on the list, which is earned for earning 5 melee kills with the shank. After sneaking around the Gulag for the first 3 kills, we are spotted and are forced to sprint for the final 2. As the 5th guy falls, it pops the trophy short shank. Now that we're in the guard area, you would imagine that the hard part was done. However, the old saying rings true, out of the frying pan and into the fire. This section was almost impossible. Maybe it's my own fault because I didn't loot the guards during the melee trophy, but now that we've flipped the switch, multiple armed guards rushed in with either shotguns or SMGs against a guy with a knife. After a lot of trial and error, I found that the best tactic was to jump over the back railing, knife the unsuspecting guard and take his shotgun, which always only had 3 slugs, and then crawl like a slug around the covered areas and take out the guards in the way. This worked for the most part. Hey! Turn fucking right instead of left. After escaping the main chamber, we meet up with Irish and we're able to grab the Recon trophy for finding 28 collectibles. It's a bit of a weird trophy because there is 35 to grab and it's a gold trophy. But, oh well. The three of us fight our way through what feels like half of China until we're able to open up a door and it looks like we're in the clear. But once again, Hannah turns up and ruins our plan, holding us at gunpoint, but this time, she hits the Chinese with the double cross. We head away from the gulag to escape as we climb higher up the mountain. We unlock Gladiator for fulfilling the points requirement, and with Gladiator earned, it's the first time that we've actually grabbed all the possible trophies in a mission on the first try. So we will not have to revisit this mission. Thank you, thank you. We make a final push to the cable car and unlock the Dead by Dawn trophy for completing the mission. Tashkar was a pretty unremarkable mission. The short of it all is that after escaping the gulag, we meet up with the allied US forces and make a deal with the captain to destroy the dam in exchange for help getting back to the USS Valkyrie. We're able to pick up Infiltrator pretty quickly into the mission for getting 10 kills while on low health, and towards the end of the mission, we grab the Demolition Man trophy for reaching 15,000 points. Before we can grab the final trophy of the mission, I completely misunderstand the assignment for blowing up the dam. But after realising that I had to detonate the C4 myself, I pulled the trigger and watch as all 3 bombs blow the dam.
What have I done?
As we go crashing down with the debris into the depths below, we unlock the trophy Antediluvian. Now we find ourselves on a plane about to parachute onto the USS Valkyrie in the middle of Suez. It has been boarded by Chinese forces and we must liberate it. After a lot of killing, we earn Guardian of the Fleet for amassing 6,000 points in the mission, and then we head down below to find the captain.
Oh, hello there!
But run into Pac, who is still alive after Singapore. Together, we head over to the infirmary. The captain is held up with Hannah's husband, who suggests letting the enemy see that he is alive. So that's what we do. And it works, because he turns out to be Jin Jae himself, the future leader of China that the US supposedly had assassinated. With that, the fighting stops, but as the Chinese general set this whole thing up in the first place, he orders the destruction of the ship anyway. We all jump in a rib and sail for the oncoming enemy warship. Reaching the boat, we attach a bomb to its hull and zipline underneath a bridge to watch the show. But of course, the bomb is not working now. Here we are presented with a choice: send Irish down to set another bomb, or send Hannah, or, the third choice, do nothing. The latter seems like the longest option, so we wait and eventually the Valkyrie is destroyed. We unlock Tombstone for doing so, as well as Guns at Dawn for completing the mission, Fish for completing the campaign on easy, Tombstone for hard, and Wolf for normal. Now, for the final part of this platinum, I just had to clean up the mess I'd made throughout the campaign. Firstly, we're going back to Baku, but annoyingly you can't restart at a certain checkpoint, so the whole mission had to be replayed. Just before reaching the exfil site, you can plant a C4 on any of the oncoming trucks and pick up most of the kills needed for the well placed trophy. We then return to Shanghai. A multi-kill in Battlefield is basically a double kill within a few milliseconds of each other. I managed to get a couple of them leading up to the rooftop fight, and after finishing that I was left on 9 multi-kills. I knew from my first playthrough that there's an opportunity where 4 enemies will rappel from a helicopter, so I loaded my LMG and thankfully popped the Wrecker trophy. The final mess I had to clean up was the Singapore mission. My plan for this mode was to get as many headshot bonuses as possible. This once again left my points total very close to the required amount before leaving the hangar. But this time I need to hold my fire until the soldiers had exited the truck, and then I wiped them all out, popping the Stormbringer trophy for earning 20,000 points. Finally, we just had to play the Suez mission twice, and sacrifice both Hannah or Irish in each run. Firstly, we sent Hannah to meet God, unlocking the For the Cause trophy, and then on the second run, we sent my boy down there, which unlocked Patience is a Virtue for experiencing all 3 endings, Above and Beyond the Call for completing all assignments, and For the People for sacrificing Irish. But no platinum. The final remaining trophy was Full Arsenal, which is earned for completing all assignments and getting all of the collectibles. I was a bit confused because I had previously gone back to the South China Sea mission and collected the final dog tag that I missed earlier. I had a quick look on the PSN Profiles forums and saw that G7 Gaming in it had the same issue. It was advised to load up the Kulan Mountains and it should register the trophy. So that's what I've done, and what do you know, both Full Arsenal and the Platinum Trophy unlocked. If you've made it this far, I'd like to say a big thank you for watching, and if you have enjoyed it at all, please smash that like button and subscribe. It really would mean a lot to me. As always, if you have any suggestions for a game you'd like me to platinum, drop it down in the comments below.